Damn, we're in the field today. Although that might have been a mistake, because now I gotta walk back up the hill. And that is because I want to talk about that. What you're looking at on the cliff sides over there is the Osceola mudflow. So why do I bring you here today to Mud Mountain Dam Park? Well, the problem lies with that thing over there. Not the dam itself, but the gorge that the dam is built on. Prior to construction of the dam, the gorge that the White River went through was incredibly narrow. During construction, this is what the canyon looked like. And by now, I'm sure you're all well aware of how large the Osceola mudflow was. Consider, if you will, again, we see it on the cliffside over there. But again, geology boy, why are we here? Prior to the dam, the gorge was, again, narrow and pretty deep. So when all that material was coming down, it easily wouldn't all fit at once. And very similar to how the dam acts today, all of that material would back up behind the dam. Now notice, the relief on the north side of the river is pretty dang flat. But if we look how those tree lines is headed, it's kind of headed downhill. So as that material backs up, eventually it's going to get to the point where it overtops that. Let's take a little ride and go find some of these spots to show it outside of the area of the dam. So take a look over here. We've got kind of like a, I don't know, silty, sandy, clayish kind of material. But as we go up and up and up towards the top of the hill, we see that mudflow material that we saw back up at the viewpoint. Well, that makes it kind of hard to show you what I wanted down there. Silver lining there is I can show it to you on LiDAR. We're back in the lab. What I wanted to show you behind those private property signs were hummocks. When mudflows slow down and they kind of ease up on their overall chaos, the big blocks that are a part of this kind of stop and leave kind of a hump. Zoom in on this area. All of these bumps up here in this kind of flat plain-like area are those hummocks that were left over from this mudflow. Now, if that mudflow wasn't making it through this and was piling back up onto this, it still had to go downhill, which means that that route that you take up Highway 410 as you leave Enumclaw or descend into Enumclaw, those two terraces that you go up would have been a lahar-water-fall, headed both this direction to follow the White River as well as up and around. These terraces up here just on the outside of Enumclaw allowed this whole thing to spread out and cover the entire plateau. And I don't know about you, but a lahar-waterfall would be kind of cool but terrifying to see. Just another fine example of how cool our geology here is in South King County.